I believe that this, I don't know, but 10 p.m. is so late for some people, even
I
for
don't
me.
know.
Times.
It's a little bit late. Yeah, when I was in the college, I used to get home 11 p.m. At midnight. So I don't know. We had different types of people, and maybe when we open a new time in our schedule and talk, take some times to people know and realize, oh, we had a new slot available at 10 p.m. So
Yeah,
don't
I got
take
it.
don't push too hard yourself. Maybe 10 it can take 2 3 weeks before people start to realize there is that, but it's not a problem. I
Yeah,
did actually in the past immersion Monday 10 p.m. in the past, a long time ago, but
I need to
uh,
create an audience. So yeah,
exactly.
I need to have patience. So now we are live on the YouTube. Hello,
Okay.
YouTube. Today we are going to talk about the old internet days. I'm here with Carlos. Uh, Let me introduce you about the platform, about Talk Talk. I'm not a teacher. I'm a facilitator. Oh my God, I'm a volunteer here.
Okay.
I'm a student as well. We are here to learn together. So, uh, do you have the questions right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I received.
So let's get started. First of all, tell us a little bit about you, Carlos. Let's
Okay.
introduce ourselves.
So my name is Carlos. I work as a software engineer. I'm 33 years old. I had two daughters, and I'm also a volunteer here in Talk and Talk because I really I really love this community. I get in love since I got my first immersion in Talk and Talk because it was an amazing experience to me. I can say that for sure. And related to what I'm doing here, it's because I want to improve my English skills, but not only that, I want to improve my communication skills as a person and as a looking to opportunity to grow in my career. So that's me.
Yeah, I see. By the way, my first goal when I started here, it was to improve my English, but I realized that the platform is more than that. Uh, we are here and we are not learning just English. We are improving our communication. We are learning about a lot of kind of subjects, and sometimes make some friends as well. The community is awesome. I totally agree. So my name is Elton. I'm a guy from São Paulo. I'm 31 years old. I've been working as a Python developer over 3 years. I'm graduated in computer science. I'm a father. What else? In my spare time, I like to do outdoor activities. I like to spend my free time away from the computer. I About my hobbies, I like to go to the gym. I like to practice swim. I'm take some swim classes nowadays. I like to hiking, and sometimes I like to travel around the country and discover new places, new beaches. I'm a summer guy, so I love sun. Today is so cold here in São Paulo, and I hate these kinds of weather, but it's part. Uh, so could
Yeah,
you read the?
I'm oh, sorry.
Go
No,
ahead,
go ahead.
please.
I would say I don't like cold either. It's 14, 15 degrees. I was checking on my seat right now, and I'm using a heater on my left because I don't like to use blouse or jaqueta, you know.
Yeah,
So I use a heater when the winter is coming, you know.
yeah, that's the problem because you need to wear a lot of clothes, and I like to feel, I don't know, free. Uh,
Yeah,
I work from home, so I am all the time just with my, I don't know how can I say that, my chinelo and a light t-shirt, and sometimes I'm without t-shirt. Like a guy that are at the beach.
yeah,
And I like to stay like that here. I feel more comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same to me.
So let's get started. Uh, Let me read the question number one. How and when, sorry, was your first time online? Could you answer, please?
All right. Yeah. I don't remember the exactly moment when I got in front of a computer and I could access the internet, but I remember how it was in the past, you know. I remember um, a cousin, prima, acho que é prima,
Yeah,
prima, yeah, had a computer in their home, and I go to there, and she showed to me isso aqui. So that was the first time, and I couldn't understand that, and it was so strange to me. I think I was 10, 11 years old, and after that, it's turned more common to watch people using computer, you know. But I don't remember the first time I had the opportunity, you know. I remember a lot of things about old time in the internet, but I can't remember. I think I'm getting older because I, I forget a lot of things about my past, you know. But I
yeah,
remember, I remember, for example, I like to do paint. Do you know?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I forgot.
Draw.
Acho que é Paint, né?
Yeah,
Tinha o
Python,
Paint no Windows,
the
and I
software.
like to, yeah, I like to draw in there. And actually, there wasn't too much things to do in computer that time.
Yeah, me too. I used a lot Paint because the internet wasn't good and was very expensive. And
Yeah,
I hadn't internet, a lot of time. So, like you, I didn't remember well the age, but I believe that it was almost the same, about 10 or 11 years old. And my first contact with the internet, my first time online, it was at school, I think. Uh, I remember that I had the informatica class, and when I saw that, oh my God, it was so amazing. It was new for me, and I found that so incredible. And after that, I had some problems to have internet at home because I never had I was that kind of guy that we wasn't we hadn't a good financial life, you know. So my mother had a computer, but we hadn't internet for a long time. So I used it to use Paint as well to spend my time and the other kinds of games like Paciência, the card
yeah.
game. And I remember that the first time that I got internet at home, it was very good because I could spend a lot of time online, but at the end of the month, I we received a big bill, because it was so expensive, the internet. And after that, my mother, I don't know, called my attention about it, and I started using the internet just overnight,
Yeah,
because the pulse was was more cheaper than
yeah.
using over day. So yeah, good memories.
Yeah,
So
you were talking about the course you made on school, informatica or something like that.
yeah.
And I remember I was 7 years old when it was the first time I sit down in front of the computer, and I was doing a class just like you, and we had a game. It was kind of tipo labirinto. And it was a game to learn math, and you are walking on the labirinto, and at some part
Bomberman?
you
No.
it was kind of Bomberman, but it wasn't Bomberman, because in some parts you had to solve math problems,
Good one.
when to achieve and could finish the phase you had to solve math problems. And I remember when I got older, I tried to find this game, but I never knew the name or how I could find that. And but it's a memory. I only remember that after you say
Yes,
about your experience.
sometimes the game is not so good, but you would like to find the game because you have a memory. You have
Yeah.
this feeling, oh man, I remember this game. I would like to try again, to play that again. So yeah, sometimes I remember some things that wasn't good in the past, even today, but I have a lot of memories about it, a lot of things, a lot of sites, or even old games. But yeah, I believe that if we try again, we will, I don't know, it will be not good, you know?
Exactly.
So let's jump to the next one. Question number three. Did you have any favorites, websites, or games? Uh, well, let me start with that. In my case, I remember that when I was a teenager, I used it to see a lot of how can I say, a lot of picture sites, and because before the YouTube uh, wasn't very accessible, because the internet wasn't good. So before we used it to access more pictures websites or even news websites. And I remember that at school we accessed a lot of that o Mortandela. It was a comedy site. And
Yeah.
one more is that assustador. That
Oh yeah, I remember.
there you could see a lot of celebrities, deaf celebrities, I think.
Yeah.
So it was terrible. Uh,
Oh man.
and about the games, I don't know. I have never had a good computer, so I needed it to play bad games like 2D games for a long time, such as Tibia. Sometimes I tried to play another games like Mu Online, Counter-Strike 1.5, But see, in my computer, it was very, very bad because I received the blue screen all the time, because
Yeah.
I hadn't a good hardware. So yeah, the game started, but to continuous playing wasn't bad. It doesn't work well. And you?
Yeah, I remember a lot of things when you are talking, and I watched a lot of videos on Assustador and o Mortadela and those kind of websites because it take a lot of time, to load one video. But I remember, but I think I spend more time on I had access to a personal computer when I was 14, 15 years old. So it was 2005, something close to that. And at that time, I already had internet ADSL, you know. It
Yeah,
wasn't internet discada, but it was only 1 or 2 megabits. I don't remember. But I had that computer, and some friends of mine play GTA San Andreas. Do you know GTA San Andreas?
yeah, yeah,
And when you enter in a car in that game, start to play songs, a radio in the car. And we discovered we could create our own web radio and play inside GTA San Andreas, the songs we want to listen. And we
cool.
were making research to that how we could create a web radio, to play GTA San Andreas and listen the music we want. And this was the reason I became a software engineer, actually, because I had that friends and we went to spend time together playing GTA, and we decided to build this web radio, and it was really interesting that time. Yeah, I learned a lot in that time. I think it was PHP 3, and we didn't have JavaScript in the level we had today, but it was it was it was a good time, to learn. And I was not a very gamer guy when I was younger. I only liked to play GTA because I had those friends, and after some time it's became popular in my school and with the teenagers play Counter-Strike, but I couldn't play in my house. I had to go to a LAN house to play that. And but it wasn't a long career to me being a gamer.
Yeah. Now, after you said about the on, online radio, I think I remember that when I was a teenager, I met a guy. I don't remember how, but he was a radio owner, online radio owner, and after a time I started to be a moderator on the online radio. And I remember that I tried to create a online radio for me, but I hadn't successful. But it was a good experience because I remember I spent a lot of time uh, I spent the overnight watching or oh my God, listen to music and the organizing playlists and the talk with the people because before every online radio there you could use some kind of online chat. And yeah,
Yeah,
it,
I remember that too.
it is a good
Uh,
memory.
yeah, exactly.
So, question number four. Could you read,
Right.
please, for us?
Yeah, for sure. How did you store your information before flash drives and cloud storage? As a normal person, I burn a lot of CDs and DVDs in my life, you know. Actually, my dream was I had the desire to bought that. I forget the name, but it was kind of a CPU with one layer. You put the original,
I know.
original soundtrack, and all the other layers you could burn multiple. Oh, sorry, multiple. Oh, a lot of CDs at the same time, because I was thinking, I can make money with that. But I
Yeah, I
didn't because
remember.
it was too expensive. But I use a lot of Nero. Do you know Nero?
Yeah, I use it.
Yeah, a lot of Nero and other programs like that. And because CDs was more common in when I get computer, and after some time DVDs became more popular. And I use a little bit of diskette, but it wasn't so common when I bought my computer. It was more CDs I use.
Yeah, me too. My mother had some floppy disk, I think, disquete.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe that I didn't use. I remember more about the CDs and DVDs. I remember that when the DVDs trend started, it was so cool because you could copy CD or DVDs, and I remember that you could sell for someone and earn some money. It was very common
Yeah.
at that time. And yeah, sometimes you could copy a movie, copy a software. I remember that I had a lot of softwares on my CDs. Uh,
Yeah,
by the way,
I
the
had
Windows.
I had I don't know how to say the name even in Portuguese, but it was kind of tipo uma sanfona, kind of a fold with a lot of CDs, a
It's like
collection
a
of
DVD
CDs.
case, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. And at that time, it was really common to share or um, borrow CDs from other person. How do you have Windows spare? I need the CD-ROM from Windows 7. Can you borrow to me? Você pode emprestar?
Exactly.
It
Good
was
one.
common that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I had a school friend that when I needed some software or movie, I I could ask from him that they always had the things. I don't know how, but he was a very cool guy, you know. I
A
don't
good
know.
friend to have close.
Go
Era um
ahead.
bom amigo para se ter perto, digamos
Yeah,
assim.
yeah, sure.
All
So
right.
yeah, a lot
And
of
and
memories.
and I and I remember talking about keeping programs, installers, and data. It's kind of something precious to you. If you g- got a CD or an installer from some software you like, you keep that has something pressure, because it was hard to download that same program again. And I remember I had a folder in my computer with everything who was important to me. I couldn't lose that. And nowadays I go to my download folder and I delete everything and I download again without problem. But I remember that time I take care a lot of my files, because it was so easy to lose something important to you. Even when flash drivers became more popular, I remember the first one or the first version, it was really easy to burn or to get some trouble with flash drives. I lost a lot of work and I forget the name, tipo, dever de casa, something like that, because I
Homework.
started in homework, yeah. I started in a flash drive and got corrupted by something like a virus or other Windows stuff.
Yeah, I remember that the Windows software usage crash a lot. So
Yeah,
if you hadn't a CD for backup or to fix the problem, oh man, it was a problem because we couldn't find a way to fix the problem without a computer because that time we hadn't I don't know we hadn't it was very difficult to find someone to help you,
yeah.
or you needed to pay someone. It was very expensive as well. Or I don't know, man. You it's a problem.
Yeah, you
So
didn't you could find the solution for what you want on the internet, if your computer getting broken, you had to fix yourself or expend a lot of money.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we hadn't cell phone to watch some
Yeah.
tutorials videos.
Yeah, if your computer go to death, you don't have internet access, so
Yeah.
it
If
was hard.
if you didn't know a lot of about the computers, about software and the hardwares, oh, it was a problem
I
because
I
go ahead.
remember, sorry, I remember it was really common after 1 week, 2 weeks, once per month you had to formatter your computer. And I still remember the serial key to Windows XP.
Yeah,
I had in my mind KQ-C2B X68630. I remember because I did this a lot of times in my life. I don't know how many times I did that, but when I discover, I don't know, a few years ago, 6 or 7 years, I start to use Linux in my work, and man, it was so different because I don't remember the last time I had to install from scratch the operating system. So it's good to see how things evolve during this time.
yeah. When I used to use the Windows XP, I had a lot of CDs like that with the serial key uh, on the face of the CD because
Yeah,
I remember that once that friend that I told you, he gave me writing in a paper one serial key of a Windows XP, and after that I used that serial key for everything with the same because sometimes I needed to rebuild my operation system, and I used that key. And sometimes after some time, my relatives got a computer as well, and I needed to rebuild their operation system as well, and I used a lot that serial key because nowadays we can't do that. But before we could use the same serial key, you know?
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
oh man, this
uh,
one.
Uh, Nowadays, we don't use serial keys for nothing, but that time, programs, gaming, everything had a serial key.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember that in the past it was very easy. Was easier to get a virus,
Yeah.
because we we used it to download some illegal softwares to craquear
Uh, yeah,
the the softwares, and almost always come some kinds of virus like
exactly.
such as keylogger, or sometimes Badu was started.
Ah, I
Your
was trying to explain to some teenager those days, when in the past you go to the internet and you say that kind of ads, you are the 100, so visitante número 1000, you got a prize. And when you try to
Yeah,
click to close, the pop-up open 11 more, and then you try to close that one and open much more, and
exactly.
it was
Oh
so
man.
difficult. The internet was hard that time.
Yeah, and sometimes after that, uh, you use it to see some ads
Yeah,
without reasons. I don't know how, but the same site that you used it to access before without ads, now you could see some ads. You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a virus as well.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
was so.
And suddenly windows open in your front,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
especially when you had your mother or your brother
Oh,
on your
all the
left,
time.
behind you, and those kink ads, So can be embarrassing. And your mom say to you, "What you are seeing this computer? I don't know. It's a virus."
Exactly. I remember that I had a lot of troubles with my sister because when she used the computer, after I don't know, after some hours or days, I had this kind of problem with Windows, with ads. Oh man, I remember that I got so angry with her. And I remember
Mm,
that after some time, I would I don't know, I remember that the computer become just mine. She couldn't use anymore, and oh, it was so embarrassing because we was all the time, I don't know how can I say brigando, fighting. Yeah,
Fighting.
we were fighting to use the computer all the time. Uh,
Yeah.
Good
I had
memories.
this I had the same experience with my brothers, if I was on the internet playing something, my brother go to the telephone and disconnect me from the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
Oh man, I get
It was so
so
boring.
angry. Yeah, man. Yeah, I that part I don't like to remember.
I had a lot of troubles with that, and I don't know, but it always happened, and we couldn't solve that. And sometimes when we needed support, they just they just told me that they will. I forgot that it was a problem that's just me had,
Yeah,
are having. I don't know. I forgot the words now, but it was so boring. I had a lot of problems with that, and sometimes I played a game and I died on the game because I I lost the connection with the game, you know?
Yeah,
It
I know.
was boring. Let's go to the question number 5, or yeah, 5. How did you connect with friends online before social media? Uh, could you answer?
Yeah, I remember I lose a lot of MSN in my time, you know. When I got my computer, ICQ wasn't so popular at the time. We'll use more MSN, but we use a lot of bate-papo do wall.
Yeah,
Wall chat was really common in my city because in there you could find people from your own city. And I remember in the Saturday, Monday, Sunday. I remember on the Sundays, I go to Backpop Wall and you could, how can I say, it was a anonymous chat, but if you go every same day at the same time, you could talk with the same people in there, you know.
yeah.
And my first girlfriend actually I met on Bate-Papo do Wall. We spent some time talking in there, and we decided to know each other in on site, you know, in live. And it was kind of embarrassing. And thanks God it was a girl because I could be talking with anyone, you know. But I remember it was the way used to communicate at that time. MSN and before a little bit before MSN, Bate-Papo do Wall.
Yeah, the same here. I, I, I didn't remember if I used the IC key, but I remember the icon, the software in my computer, but I believe that I have ever used the MSN as well. I used it a lot. I remember that we listening we listening to music just to appears on the stats, you know.
Yeah,
It was a good
exactly.
feature. And
I
the
really like that feature, you know. It was really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And we could call the attentions, we could
Ah,
send some gifts.
yeah.
It was really, really cool. I remember. And I used it to use the wall chat as well. I used it a lot. It was very common in my neighborhood. And the best part of that chat was the nickname.
Yeah.
You know, it was so very,
Paulão 23 entrou na sala.
yeah, like that, man.
People had a lot of creativity, you know.
Yeah, that one
Uh,
is one, one of the most I don't know, the less dangerous, you know,
yeah, exactly. It
because
was nowadays I can imagine myself doing something like that, or even my daughter, you know. But I get a little bit curious. Did you had a favorite nickname you use? If you can share, of course. I don't want to be unpolite, you know. But did you had a nickname you remember?
oh man, I remember that yeah, I use it to use sometimes gato loiro, you know? Yeah.
Ah, muito bom.
It was so bad.
Yeah, and did you make success with the girls in Bate-Papo Dual? Gato Loiro? Talk
Yeah,
with a lot
yeah,
of girls in there?
I think so. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was good.
Okay,
Good
that's
times.
That's incredible. You know, I use Zé because some friends call me Zé. My name is not José, but my name is Carlos, but people call me Zé. And I use Z-A-H. So it was the way I
Yeah.
use. And sometimes when I was bored, I get other, how can I say, I can name right now the kind of nickname I use. But I
I
play jokes with guys in there. I can say that, you know.
I use it a lot I use it a lot transfer as a nickname because my cousin called me transparente, you know.
Oh, okay.
I get the nickname I got transfer. So
Okay.
I use it a
Because
lot.
you are white. Because you
Yeah,
are a white
that's
guy.
it.
Okay.
That's it. And I use it a lot playing the games. The last one was just a joke on the chat because almost everyone uses the
Yeah.
strange nickname, you know. So that
Yeah, I
that
use I use some like Moreninho da Vila.
yeah. Sometimes I joined it to the
Mm,
chat just to make some jokes,
exactly.
to I don't know, say some bullshits, you know.
Yeah, and the best part, I think, on wall chat, it was the way you could talk privately with someone, but at the same window, you know, and we are
Yeah,
talking privately, me and you. I
I
could
remember
select
now.
to talk only with you, and but I could see all people talking, you know, who are talking in public. I could follow the other guy's conversation. It was interesting.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that sometimes I forgot that my chat was direct for someone,
Yeah,
and I was trying to speak to to speak with the all chat, and I couldn't. I remember that anyone answered me. And after some times, I realized that I wasn't talking with out of the chat, out of chat, you know?
yeah,
It was a, a problem with for me. Uh, yeah, good one. So let's go ahead. Question number 6. How do you feel about the early internet compared to the internet we have today? Well, I don't know. Like I said before, I believe that what I miss is the memories, not the early internet or even my teenager phase, you know? I, I I think that it was a thing that I don't know, maybe I carry the memory with me, the memory of the old times, the old internet, the first time that I used to use I used some softwares, or even I did something new on the computer. And I believe that this feeling is good. Like you said about the game that you played at school. I believe that we have this feeling with us, this memory. And I believe that what we really miss is the memory, you know?
exactly,
Today, of course, everything is better than before. The internet is faster than before, much more. I remember that before we needed sometimes we needed some days to download something, you know. I remember that I I I left my computer downloading something and I went sleepy. And in the morning, sometimes I got angry because I had a problem with the download process, and I
Yeah,
needed to start everything again. It was so boring, and it happened a lot with me. Uh,
yeah.
and you, what do you feel about the internet compared with today?
Of course, I feel I miss the feeling of using that time, you know. I think it's related because we are younger, and but of course nowadays is internet is much better, much more stable, much more faster. You can find everything online. So uh, I don't want to go back to the past, to the
Yeah,
old days, but I remember a lot of things you are talking and speaking about that, you know, about the download, keep something downloading the entire night. And actually, I remember I use a program. I don't remember the name, but it was kind of acelerador de download,
yeah, I
and
remember.
you could put a queue in there, the things you want to download. And if you are downloading on the browser, it was I don't know, 1 hour, but if you use that program, it could be 15 minutes. So it was easier to download and
Exactly.
manage when something was broken, you know. But I remember I use a lot of programs like that to download animes. That time I watch a lot of RMVB. Do you know RMVB? It's kind of a type of video, but it was way where it was much more. Sorry, era menor. Tamanho de arquivo era menor
I
than
know, light. I
it
think,
was light. Yeah. So it was RMVB, Real Media something. And the other formats we had that time, it was AVI, and I don't know
yeah,
if MP4 or something like that. But RMVB, it was faster to download, but everything got, how can I say, pixelado na tela, you know, because
yeah, yeah.
it was a shit quality, but it was easier to download. I remember.
Did you remember any software that you used to download something, some videos,
Y-
some
Yeah,
music?
I use a lot of o torrent, micro torrent, you know, o
Yeah,
torrent, and the Pirate Bay. I use, but to download programs, I use Super Downloads. Do you know Super Downloads?
yeah,
It was
sure.
a famous website.
It's
And
like Baixa Aqui.
yeah, Baixaqui came later. Super Download, it was before Baixaqui, but I use a lot of this kind of website that time.
I used a lot the Emule and the
Emule, yeah.
Kazar. You remember?
Kazaa, yeah, I
To
remember.
download to
Oh,
music.
yeah. Kazaa, it was before, way, way before uTorrent, you know? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
uTorrent came later, but I use a lot of Kazaa. And yeah, I remember. I was in a store this week, and I started to listen a music, and I remember the day I downloaded music the first time on my computer. It was Skater Boy from Avril Lavigne. Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I
Good
remember
music.
it was common that time, and I remember a friend of mine say, "Oh, I want you need to listen this music, you know." And I remember I used Casa to download that.
Yeah. I believe that I used the Kazar and the Emule for a long time. I don't know the reason, but I didn't use a lot the torrent when I was younger. I don't know the reason. I use it this day, but today is more safe, than before. I believe that I heard a lot of bad things about the the torrent, and today is a little bit more safe than before.
Yeah. I think I don't remember the last time I download something to watch, Nowadays I only watch on streaming. I use TV box. Do you know TV box?
Yeah, I know.
And I don't watch so frequently than when I was younger. I spend more time on YouTube. Actually, I'm addicted to YouTube and shorts on YouTube, and I want to change that in my life because I don't want to spend so much time
Yeah,
watching bullshit.
sometimes it's a distraction. It's like
Exactly.
the TikTok, Instagram feed, or Reels, and sometimes you are wasting your time
Yeah.
watching some videos that you will not remember after. Because for me, I think that it is so much information, and sometimes we overwhelm it.
Exactly.
And yeah, I try to avoid that as well, but is some kinds of addiction, and when you start, it's difficult to stop.
Yeah. The last few days, I'm adopting some kind of technique. I don't went to my bedroom in my eu não vou pro quarto com meu celular,
Yeah,
and I bring a book to read before I sleep, and this is helping me to avoid my addiction on
yeah, I try
YouTube
something like
Shorts.
that. I'm try because I believe that before sleep is worst, because I don't know, you are watching one video, after that you want to watch one more, and when you realize you are so late to sleep, it's like
Mhm.
1, 2 p.m. a.m. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's so hard. I don't know if you have time enough for one more question. Uh, I think that we can answer one more.
Okay.
Question number 7. Uh, did your family have limited internet access or specific times you could use it? Could you
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah, as I say, when I got my own computer, we had internet at the cell, so it wasn't. I could use the entire day without problem, but I know I had the bad experience of trying to connect to internet discada, and it was hard.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that the first internet proven, I think, provider, it was AOL, and
Ah, yeah,
after that, AOL became WOL, and I remember that some years later or after that, I used it a lot, Speed, you know? I don't know if
sim. Yeah, in Paraná we didn't have speed, but I listened a lot of guys saying São Paulo it was common.
yeah,
But actually in Paraná we didn't have speed.
yeah. So I remember that I had a lot of problem with the internet cable, with the modem, so it was so terrible. So I put the survey on the chat if you can. answer, you can help us to improve our platform, improve, or even you can suggest some kinds of topic or subject that we can talk in next immersion. What else? Uh, Let me stop the YouTube video.